Thank you very much, sir, for joining us online and offline in both ways. Professor Vikas Gupta is my mentor and teacher, and Professor Kabir Kalam Sahab, respected chairman, sir, dear colleagues, and dear students and friends. So, the topic of my PhD is Education, Rehabilitation and Employment, a study of people with blindness in 20th century Uttar Pradesh. I have divided this thesis into 5 main chapters, excluding introduction and conclusion, and I will be dealing with the relevance, significance, limitation of the study, the core arguments of the chapters, and findings of the study, of course. So rehabilitation of the blind is the main theme, but rehabilitation has many variants. But I am deeply concerned with their educational and economic rehabilitation, particularly in the state of Uttar Pradesh in the last century. Rehabilitation implies policies and programs of the state and the civil society aiming to restore a dignified, humane and independent life for a person or a community. For disabled, it refers to a process aimed at enabling them to reach and to maintain their optimum physical, sensory, psychological, social and functional levels. It's a process to transform a person from dependence and depression to independence and self-acceptance. Uh, right. So, more than 41.5 lakh people with disabilities were residing in Uttar Pradesh as per 2001 census, which constitute 2011 census, which constituted almost 15.5% of the total disabled population of the country. Almost 18.3% blind of the total population of the country were living in Uttar Pradesh. Blind constituted, as per 2001 census, almost 48.5% among the total disabled population of the country. Their population was almost 53.63% of the total disabled in the UP. So these statistics are suffice to highlight and the relevance and utility of this study. Besides the political domination of the state at the national level and its religious character is crucial to study their rehabilitation as politics and religion played a pivotal role for constructing and to responding to disability. Though there was some research on disability in the discipline of history, particularly in the West, but little attempt is made among the Indian historians to document the history of disability. It is perhaps the first research of this kind. It's a relevant work. Its relevant works deals with regional history of the blindness. It strengthens the discipline of history, disability studies, education, economics, and its interdisciplinary approach makes it more unique and enriching. This study is also a critique of Marxist, subaltern and feminist historiography for ignoring disability in history writing. First research on any theme, and especially on education, rehabilitation and employment of the blind is itself a challenging task because no conscious attempt was made in the past to record and preserve the data on disability. Because we know that the data or literature is preserved of the victors and privileged classes, and disability is not a privileged class at all. But history of disability is yet to be emerged, thus collecting data is itself a tiresome act as it requires intensive traveling to gather pieces of scattered information. Though I have exploited many official, non-official sources such as government reports, legislation, some published secondary sources, biographies, autobiographies, newspaper clippings, Bollywood movies, unpublished literature. However, it appears to have a shortage of data to document the history of education and employment of the blind of the last century. Thus, the attempt is made to adopt the method of oral history, not only to support the existing literature, but to bring fresh dimensions to the theme. Thus, I did not expect big statistical data to appear before us, and consequently, the work is more quantitative in nature than of the qualitative. So the first chapter of my thesis is Engaging Disability Discourse in Critical Analysis, and this chapter is divided into three main sections. The first section deals with the disability study and disability activism. Basically, it is tracing the disability activism which was taking place in 1960s and 70s, particularly in United States of America and Europe. And this, activism of disabled and their NGOs were creating an environment which, further, help to develop disability studies in the West. And therefore, in this second section, the second section of this chapter highlights the concept, ideas, theories which disability studies scholars, offered us